Guys, welcome to the Super League, Windsor Standard Super League.
Yep,
week 9. Last week of big competitive play going on. We're starting off the day with Jason Rector.
Yep.
Versus Joel. It's going to be an epic match. So we got Brad, Warren, and myself, Brett Tetley, in the booth. Thank you for being with us. Why don't we recoup standings?
Yeah, so let's go take a look at the standings and see where we're at.
Schedule, see where everyone's at. So this week's a big week for a lot of people in the league.
Yep.
We have myself at 6-2. We have Trevor Ravenello at 6-2. Tyler Ari at 6-2. Bradley Warren at 5-3. Dave is 5-3. Owen is 4-4. Joel is 3-5. Mo is also 3-5. And rounding out our bottom, we have Jason Rector at 1-7, and Troy and Rustin at 1-7. I know Jay doesn't want to finish in last.
No, he definitely doesn't want to finish in last. So he's got to be hopeful that he's able to make a comeback. So the interesting thing with the top three is that they currently hold tiebreakers over each other. So you guys are kind of embroiled in a little bit of what we call a three-way dance.
Yeah, I think tonight's going to be interesting to see who finally snatches up that final spot. Zodiac Blood, good to see you. Thanks for joining the stream. And there's some fierce competition, even from the people who aren't in the running for, the finals themselves.
Yeah.
They're definitely affecting the fate of the people going into the finals.
Exactly. We have a lot of spoilers that are going to be potentially creating some upsets.
They're going to go.
And a lot of interesting things around. We see you at 5-3, Dave at 5-3,
Okay.
Owen at 4-4. There's still a lot of movement in those 4 spots between 3 and 6 there. That can definitely affect the final week and move things around.
Well, I think the most interesting matchup is going to be Trevor and Dave, because the way it's currently set up, we're out of tiebreak over Dave, so Dave needs to win in order to have a chance to get in.
Yeah.
And Trevor definitely does not want to lose either, because he's trying to get first spot.
Yeah.
So they both have something that they're really trying to fight for. And I think even you look at some of the other matchups, everyone's got something to play for.
For sure.
Because even Jay doesn't want, like you said, doesn't want to finish.
Nobody wants to finish
1-8.
No one wants to be there. Well, speaking of Jay and guys that have things to play for.
Yeah.
So tonight we have you're taking on Troy.
Yeah.
Green Red Devotion versus Green Red Dragons. This is going to be a great match. It's one of those ones that we've seen come up a lot at the SCG tournaments, and there's a lot of discussion online as to which model is better. CVM just finished writing an article about should you be on Devotion, should you be on Dragons, and he flopped back and forth and said one was a mistake, and so it would be interesting to see who comes on top tonight in the Super League. We also have Jeskai Tokens versus Band Heroic, which would be an interesting match.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of interaction on both sides there. Tyler Rowry showing up with Esper Dragons against Mozahit playing Abzan Control. And I think it's a spicy version too. We'll get into that deck list a little later.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that.
Trevor Ravenello on Asman Aggro against Dave being the first time in the Super League.
Yeah.
Straying from Control.
Yeah, he's the
moving
first time
into a red Devotion strategy. And I think this comes to some of the metagaming we talked about when you get down to those last couple players and they feel you're going to be on a certain deck.
Yeah, you got to flip it around.
Well, Dave definitely flipped the script on this one. And we have Joel playing Scry Me a River, which is a red-blue Scry kind of burn control deck against Jay also playing red deck wins. And we have those players ready to go now.
All right, let's get to the game. Yeah, I noticed with this last week, everyone knows what everyone's playing. So that makes it a lot easier to try to predict. And you also don't want to be that predictable. So I know for me personally, it had a great impact on what deck I played, because I didn't want to play the deck that I was known for playing, because people are going to be playing against you. So
yeah,
I think me and Troy almost flipped in terms of what we were expecting each other to play in order to be different.
And you ended up like almost perfect parity, right?
Yeah. So it looks like they're off and ready to go. Yeah, so we're going to correct the life totals correct the records and the names.
Yep, we'll get that up to bat. So that's Joel on the right side of the screen. 2 lands in pass. Jay with Foundry Street, Swift Spear start. Very aggressive start. And he's going to crack the Evolving Wilds. That, of course, comes into play tapped. Zodiac Blood saying Dave went there. Yeah, he went there already.
Oh, he went really deep.
On the Mono Red Devo train. Mono Red Devotion, a deck that hasn't been seen really since the day of Boros Reckoner, except in this last SCG tournament. It made a deep run.
Yeah.
And had a decent showing. I've test played the deck a little bit. A lot of fun lines, a lot of things you can do.
I think it really missed Burning Tree Emissary as well as Wolf
Yeah.
Reckoner. That kind of early kind of start where you can get a bunch of free 2 devotion creatures down really hurt the deck losing it.
Yeah, I agree. So Jay opening up with a fairly aggressive start for mono red, right? He's looking to land any creature to really maximize those Foundry Tree Denizens. Here's the 4th land. And we're just going to see an attack. So representing Stoke probably.
So Jay's gotten off to a pretty aggressive start here. Joel's already down to 13. Looks like he's holding it. He's wondering if he should go for the Stoke, I'm assuming.
Yep. And here's the Stoke.
It is Stoke, and there is going to be a Lightning Strike in response.
Yep, so don't need any more prowess damage there, right?
Which, if I'm Jay, I'm still fine with you. You still got in a ton of damage that turn.
Yeah, your opponent's down to 7.
He's got, looks like a Wild Slash and Lightning Strike in his hand. So that's
Yep,
potentially
so that's 5.
lethal, yeah.
And if you find any creature, right, then you don't even need one of your burn spells, and your Denizens will just take over for you.
Yeah, well, he does have lethal currently. Now,
Yes.
that's assuming Joel doesn't play anything. So it looks like Joel has one of his one Fated Conflagration.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Configuration, yeah.
Configuration, yeah. Which is a card that we haven't really seen a lot of.
No, it saw a little bit of a sideboard play in burn strategies, I think, just to deal with some of the big planeswalkers and threats that were around. But outside of that, it's very fringe. But I think a lot of the cards in Joel's deck right now are very fringe.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. He has him at 3. It looks like he's going to wait until his end step to try to
fire it off.
Yep, burn him out here.
Yeah, he's actually playing. I think the other card he had in his hand was a Riddle with Lightning.
Yes.
And then he's got a Magma Jet.
Doesn't have the mana for Riddle.
Nope.
It's expensive, and it doesn't do what he needs him to do right now anyway.
So Jay's going to play a creature, and it looks like it's going to be game.
Yeah, so just
Joe shows
him
in the hand of all the burn spells.
Jay's like, what is this? What is this Riddle of Lightning?
Riddle.
What does this do?
Yeah, I think the issue with card with like Faded was just the triple red and the mana cost.
Yeah.
Makes it really prohibitive to any deck that's not.
Yep.
So we're going to take it back to the booth.
So I know I was talking to Joel earlier about this matchup, and he was saying he's running 0 Angers in the board.
Okay.
And instead he's gone with a little used to be draft played common 1/3, allows you to scry a little bit in the Omen Speaker, I believe.
Yep.
But let's go over the list and see what'll help help him survive this game a little more than the previous one.
Joel's sideboard is 2 Roast, 1 Aether Spouts, 2 Ash Cloud Phoenix, 1 Negate, 1 Swan Song, 4 Omen Speaker, 2 Encase in Ice, 1 Disdainful Stroke, and 1 Ugin. So it looks like a lot of that stuff is actually quite good in this matchup because the speakers can block a lot of Jay's smaller creatures. He's got the Negate to even slow down some of the burn spells he's got. And even something like Aether Spouts might be too slow, but if it gets to that point in the game, though, he can always just return everything. And
sure, even Ash Cloud Phoenix is a fine blocker, right? That you get to block something and morphs, then you get to block again.
Yeah.
Jay's board looks like 4 Eidolon of the Great Revel, 1 Hall of Triumph, 2 Goblin Heel Cutter, 3 Roast, 2 Rending Volley, and 3 Thunderbreak Region. So in his, I'm going to assume we're going to see the Eidolons come in. Probably not the Hall. I could see some number of Heel Cutters if he thinks that Joel's going to side into creatures to block. But there's nothing game 1 that gave him signs that
he had
any intentions of blocking. But you have to think that he's got to have something different, right?
Yeah.
And the 3 Thunderbreak Regent, that's it's going big.
It's going big, yeah. So he's taking the strategy where he wants to go big against certain decks.
Yeah, and I think Thunderbreak Region is fine in this match because he has no way to get rid of it outside of burn.
Yep. Which means it represents 3 points of damage.
Yep. It's a lightning strike.
Yep. I think if Jay's fearing maybe an Anger of the Gods, he might bring in the Hall of Triumph in.
Yeah.
I assume that's really what it's for, but I don't know if it's going to be good enough.
Yeah, I don't because it's not there, and he doesn't know that it's not there. But it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think you have to assume
whether he brings that in
with what he saw that there's probably going to be some Angers in the boards.
Yeah, with a blue-red burn strategy like that, I would expect him to use Anger as a sweeper even in the main deck. Never mind. The board, perhaps, right, and just risk having 2 dead cards against a control deck or something like that. But
because Joel, I mean, all he has for creatures, at least in the main deck, is just the 1 Prognostic Sphinx.
Yeah.
So he's actually, I mean, that with the other creatures on the board, he doesn't really have that much.
No, he's leaning on his early burn interaction to do a lot of the work. And unfortunately, a lot of his burn, like the Faded, the Roast, Riddle with Lightning, just doesn't really match up well against the creature package that Jay's bringing to the game. But let's see. Let's check how they're doing here. See if they're still shuffling up, ready to go. Still shuffling up, so just resolving mulligans.
Yeah.
But
so who do you like for game 2?
I like red again.
Yeah, I think Jay's just got it down to a science in terms of being as fast as he wants to be.
I think, and I think there's a good point to that, right? Without a big board answer, like when your win conditions are Chronos and Prognostic Sphinx.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get to that point unless you have something like an Anger to keep the game balanced, a 3-for-1 or 4-for-1 or something to grind some advantage. So Ninja joining the stream. Hey Brimstone, hey to you, buddy. Thanks for joining the stream. Thanks for coming out. So I think red. If you guys in the stream wanna vote, do a little straw poll. Who you think gets game 2? Is it gonna be red blue Scry Me River, kind of a burn control deck, or will it be the tried and tested and true mono red aggro at your face?
Well, the one thing I think Joel is going for him, though, is he does have a lot of cheap removal.
Yeah.
So even though he doesn't have a sweeper, he can potentially deal with a lot of the cheap creatures. Now, the problem is, I think that the card like Hordeling Outburst is an issue.
Yeah.
But he does get the Omen Speaker, which is a pretty good blocker in that case. So it's going to require Jade maybe to spend a removal spell just on that in order to get it out of the board.
Yep. Do you think he's going to bring in the any of the Encasing Ice? And that they tap down a red creature?
I'm not
to
sure.
Lock something
yeah,
down?
he might. I guess it depends on what he wants to take out, how vulnerable it is. The thing is, he has a lot of cheap removal, which kind of serves the same purpose. So you're not really gaining a lot, because Encasing Ice is sorcery speed.
Yep.
So you're not getting as much as just having the burn spells there. So let's go back to game.
Yeah. Our spotter's saying they're ready to go. Here we see Joel with Evolving Wilds, this time cracking it wisely on his opponent's turn. That way he doesn't end up in that same situation with the tap land. Jay having exactly the start that he wants, with probably the best 1-drop you can start with in that game, I would assume.
I guess it depends on what your hand looks like.
Yeah.
You can follow it up with a couple creatures and it looks great, but Swiss Spear represents more damage quickly, I guess.
Yeah, Swiss Spear is nice, though, because it has haste. So if you always play the Denizen first, and then you go Swift Spear into like a 1-mana burn spell, then you get both triggers off, and you make a lot of damage that way.
So it looks like he's leading with
just like this.
But Joel does have some protection.
Yeah, he's got a Jet in hand.
I'm surprised he's left in Riddle with Lightning.
And an Encasing Ice.
It's a card I thought he might take out just because of the fact that it seems like it's a little slow. But I guess it's part of his win condition.
Yeah. So he went with double Swift Spear. That's gonna be a quick clock if he has some burn spells to back it up with.
So the Denizen represents damage now, but the Swift Spears represent more damage later, potentially.
Yeah.
Do you like that? Do you like taking out the Denizen right now?
I need to get Swift Spears off the table, but
yeah,
I think on Joel's side of things, the longer the game goes, the better his chance is. So any damage he can stop from coming across the table, he might just think that's the best thing to do. So here we see the Encase on the other one, so it won't be doing anything.
Okay.
And now Jay's in a spot where he's got to find creatures to start doing damage, because he's not going to be able to burn them from 18. So here's the Eidolon. So the Eidolon came in for Jay. So we got one sideboard card apiece, making an appearance very early in the game. So yeah, Blood saying my vote is for Jay, and Ninja saying also going with Jay. I didn't see the first game, so we'll see how it goes. The first game, if you blinked, you might have missed it. It was a very quick game in favor of Jay. So Jay's up 1-0 going into this one.
So I had to correct myself, and as you saw there, Case actually is a flash.
Yeah, it has flash. Yep.
So that makes a huge deal. So it allowed Joel to really basically control all of Jay's creatures. And if you look at, he's at 16 still.
Yep.
And he has 4 lands currently in play.
Here comes the Eidolon down to 14, but he's quickly, building up to a spot where Kranos or something like that could take over the game, right?
Yep. And Jay's running out of cards. He's only got a few cards left in his hand.
Yeah, and they all look like burn spells. Which are good, but they're not going to get there by themselves, right?
No.
Here's a land for turn.
So it looks like there's a slash, a strike, and an outburst.
Yeah.
So here comes the Riddle with lightning. Targeting
the Eidolon.
Yep. So we're going to see what happens here. So he's hit an island, a mountain, and another land. So we hit 3 land on this thing.
Yeah.
So if he wants to kill it, he's got to go blind. So it looks like Joel is...
Okay, so whiff.
Whiff. So it looks like Joel really wanted that land.
So he must have something that requires a 6-drop, right?
Yeah. So for the people at home, let me just read off what Riddle of Lightning does, because I don't think this isn't what we say is a common card in Standard. So the article text is: choose target creature or player, scry 3, then reveal the top card of your library. Riddle of Lightning deals damage to that card equal to that card mana cost to that creature or player. So in that instance, he scried 3 lands. He obviously wanted the land.
Yeah, opted to keep one up top.
Yeah. So he basically threw away the Riddle of Lightning. Maybe turn it into Scry 3.
Yeah, Riddle Lightning can do a lot of work in a deck that, when you play cards like Joel is, like Dig Through Time, and you just ate somebody, like just Riddle Lightning, reveal, mana cost 8 to your face, get my Dig Through Time.
So it looks like he was setting up an Interpret the Signs. So he's going to look to draw a lot of cards, and I believe that was a dig.
Yep.
Looks like Joel wanted a land, potentially. So he's going to be drawing 8 cards here. So Joel's effectively just drawing a free hand, basically.
Yeah, so we see Dig Through Time, another Riddle of Lightning, another Case and Ice, and a counter spell, I think. But this damage facing across from him is real, though. He's on a 3-turn clock. He's got to interact with this stuff. The majority of his spells that interact with it are going to force him to take life and damage.
Yep. He's at 7. He's got a couple burn spells in his hand along to go with the land.
Yep.
So he's potentially at 2 if Jay throws all of his fire at him, which Jay might want to do with his shields down. So I think Jay's learned his lesson before.
Yep.
So he's going to shoot him.
So there's both burn spells.
So it looks like Joel's at 2. So is there a card? So this comes back to the whole issue with the not having anger at the gods, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to be able to dig.
But I don't know what card gets him out of this spot, because he's kind of Eidolon locked to all his early burn.
Yeah, and anything he's going to play is going to be expensive and won't necessarily be able to get him out of this. So he's going to have to dodge a few cards, even if he can get out of this current board state, because it's not called Red Deck Wins for nothing.
No, it's living up to its name right now. Definitely looks like it's going to put another W in. He needs to play about 4 Omen Speakers right now, and then hope his opponent doesn't draw burn.
And unfortunately, he can tap double blue and hard to cast, so he's left with triple red.
Yeah, that is a problem.
So going back to that early decision with the Riddle.
Yeah.
Do you think now it might have been wiser just to go for the blind?
Yeah.
The blind card, just hoping that it's something.
Yeah, because now he's essentially locked by the Eidolon. He's taken Magma Jet and a mystery card off this dig, but the Magma Jet he can't play.
Okay, he's going to get into 2.
So he found a fountain.
Mm-hmm.
So he still can't play the Magma Jet.
Yeah, the Eidolon's going to be a problem.
He has a Riddle of Lightning he can play.
So he can go down to 1 if he riddles and hit successfully this time.
Sure.
But the problem is, how's he going to get back into this?
Yeah, it's going to be dig through time, find 2 more Radiant Fountains maybe, and like just...
All right, here he's going to dash in a Zergo.
Yep. So 7 coming across now.
Yep.
So now he's basically, he has to, he can't win. So here we see a Fated on the Eidolon.
And
a concession, because that's 5 damage coming across, and sadly we're at 4, right?
So Jay picking up his second win.
Second win of the Super Series, moving to a healthy 2-7.